Yeah, for Makwa Bakruma TV, Besam sending number Chinese, so I'm hit at one subscribe one like Asha Mawana. Pense me be a tea, so you be a tea, Mr. Somba Gemrenia, that Genia Boromon tent to Makuti, the money the Etrego. I yet a mess of bullshit, send me better to that and rather a comment says, so I'm a mantemu. Not was seen in Susu any expectation na HSA Nanka. The Via Gabaumia, Omusi High Pon or Hono, Nanka Dudwana Benya Baumia, Beto, and that's what Betoma Baumia Nanka, all receive from say, Baumia bit menya be 80%. Nakine Japan a shock on one mantem ho papa come here say delegate ne ohono kwa mofa so to mark ne Japan ohono Kyei-Mensah bonso say or no type of meeting a shock ken one mantem ho natifo mesem say ye bebo rom ne akuti Kyei-Mensah insem ode betudwa yia insema isi so de betudwa no yenso yenyanto bot yeso eti ye ba de ka hu bia no yenso yen beba abedomo
511 votes for Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia. Is this what you were expecting?
Well, I was thinking that we'll be able to rake in many more votes than we've had. All that it means is that we need to work harder.
It doesn't look good for you?
Oh, it's a family business. Some people had some different view. They seem to think that Ken is a good choice for us. So they have voted for him, and he's garnered a little bit over 40%. Bawumia has gotten about 56% plus. I was thinking that the least performance, the worst performance should be about 70%. But I came here this morning and I was told that the forces for Ken, my colleague, had come to pitch camp here, and we're trying to railroad their way through. The outcome is what you have seen. That is he garnering, as I've said, over 40% at Swami. That is without mentioning words, that is some good performance for him. I thought that we will not be able to get more than 20%. Worst case scenario, I was looking at worst case scenario 25% for him. But to have scaled 25 and got into 40, that is some performance. But of course, we all do know that Swami was one of the targeted constituencies for him. I'm looking for the overall performance from Ashanti. And I think that maybe it will come out clearly that Bawumia still will get not less than 70% from Ashanti region.
That is a great estimation. But then are you hopeful that at the end of the day, from Ashanti region, from other 15 regions, Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia can emerge winner? Because it looks as if Kennedy Agyapong is pulling surprises.
What surprises? Look at his own backyard, his own constituency. It was almost a split between him and Dr. Bawumia, his own constituency. So there's no way that he can come any close. But I was saying that I was thinking that Bawumia will be able to garner about worst case scenario 70%. And that was going to help us to unite the party much better than maybe the other person getting 25% or more. But the collation is not yet over. Let's see what will happen.
All right. Thank you so much. And that's the Member of Parliament for the Swami constituency. He says he didn't expect some 40% for Kennedy Agyapong, the Member of Parliament for Assin Central. And so the vote he had here is quite surprising. But then at the end of the day, he's hopeful that Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia would emerge winner of the NPP presidential primary.
Violence or pockets of unrest and so on. So it's been fairly smooth.
In terms of engagement between polling agents, party officials, and the electoral commission's officials as well, what would be your report or your whole in terms of summary for what you've received?
I think they've been very cooperative from the very start. I know that we presented the party with our guidelines. If they wanted us to supervise, with the EC has certain standards and guidelines that they had to abide by. And they also had their own guidelines to govern their elections. So right from the start, there were several conversations and discussions, and we reached agreement. And so far from the regional directors from the field, it seems that there's been cooperation. So it's worked very well.
If you were to rate the MPP in terms of your collaboration with your men, what would you say it would be?
Let's wait till we come to the end, and then I'll give you that.
We have 9 results so far from the 17 regions, 17 including the NPP's headquarters, making the 17. In your estimation, what are we looking at in terms of how much time more we have to go for us to get all the other results?
Well, we are hoping that in the next hour, results should have come in. We've asked our staff to take their time to collate it diligently and not to rush and not to be rushed. I think it's important that the results that come in are accurate and reflect exactly what took place on the ground. So we've spoken to them. We ourselves had trainings with them, and we've asked them to take their time. Of course, it's important that they are efficient and professional, but they need to be diligent with recording the figures and so on to ensure that there are no errors.
While this is going on, though, we know that the voter exhibition exercise is also underway. Day 1, we're told, was pretty slow. But what kind of information are you getting, and what's your expectation going forward for the rest of the exercise?
Yes, usually, the exhibition exercises are pretty slow, although it's a very important aspect of the electoral process. The participation usually is not as high as registration. But the good news is that, a lot of people are using the SMS system to check their status and their details and so on. And so that has been encouraging. Although not many people have gone to the field to physically check. What the statistics that we are receiving from our IT officers indicate that more people are checking using the SMS system.
We'll let you go. Thank you so much. But from the results you're seeing so far from the NPP's presidential race, are you surprised at the results you're seeing so far? Anything intriguing about the results?
Well, I don't really get into the results of the parties, and, anything can happen. And, of course, I'm not in the field, I'm not engaged in, in the MPP, the nitty-gritty of it. So, we have risen above board. I think ours is to ensure that we are very professional, very efficient in the conduct of the elections. And so far, from the results, the reports that we've received from the field, our officers have distinguished themselves creditably. And so, we are pleased with what we've seen so far coming from our officers and the way they've conducted these elections.
Madam Kyei-Mensah, we are grateful. We hope to have an extensive one soon to come. We are grateful. That's Madam Kyei-Mensah.